There we go. So this is for the seasonal session, the northern solstice on Wednesday, 21st of June, 2017. So let's see who we got here. Seasonal session, northern solstice. Oh, in the recording, let me get the recording. Check here.
My internet got lost earlier. I'm so sorry.
All right, so let's see who's here. We're all basically late. We weren't going to start on time. So Jay, is Abdul here? Julie here? Wow, it's really loud. Lucy, are you here still?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, if anyone wants to help with the notes, that would be great. Oh, nice. James is here too. Awesome. So we've got James.
Ikaw, eh. Yun ako masasabi.
Does anyone want to just like tell me who's here so we can log it all down? Okay, here we go. So we got Benji. Is Julie here? Abdul.
Yes. I'm here, Jay.
Okay, so we got Julie, Benji. All right, Jay, Lucy, James, Julie, Benji. I think that's everybody, right? Anyone else?
Ulysses is, I think, is not here yet.
Not here.
Let me inform him, Jay.
Well, I'm not too worried about Ulysses. He's not even participating much because he's not voice. So hopefully he'll fix that soon. All right, so let's see. Video indexing. We just want to get the video. So push the share button. So anyone doing video indexing could do this. You just add it right here. Boom. Document setup done. Thank you, Abdul. Recording video broadcast setup done. Facilitation. Interesting. Does anyone want to help with facilitation? Would anyone like to help with notes?
Hello, Jay.
Yeah.
I would really love to try the facilitation with your help.
Awesome. Okay, so Jay, I'll be the main facilitator, and then we can have James do some of the facilitator in training. Okay.
Okay.
So one of the roles of the facilitator, James, is to make sure all the positions are set up. So if you want to go through and help get people in the positions, you can do that. These are the positions from last time, but we still want to confirm.
So Jay, until now, I haven't received the link.
All right, well, that's certainly a problem. If you want to be a facilitator, you do need to have the agenda. So let's give that a try here.
Okay, I've received it.
Okay, I'll start though, but anyone else want to help with the notes? Timekeeping?
Yes.
Okay.
Lucy, you want to do timekeeping?
Yeah.
Does anyone want
When
to help?
I supposed to finish, I want to know the time we're gonna wrap up, so that I will keep on time.
Yeah, we'll go over that for sure. So let's start at 10:09. Okay, so timekeeper is going to be Lucy. Who wants to help with video indexing?
With indexing, I can help.
Lucy, okay. How about session value tracking?
Session value tracking for me.
Abdul, you're going to do session value tracking?
Yes.
Okay, how about master document updating? And we just did training on this, so everybody should be able to do master document updating.
Yes.
Yes. No problem.
Who wants to do master document updating?
Yes.
Was that you, Lucy?
Yes, that's Lucy.
I think Benji also helped Lucy for master document updating.
Benji, do you want to help with master document updating?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Benji.
I can do the video indexing too, Jay.
Okay, Lucy and Julie. And then session verification spreadsheet.
Yes, I am.
You can do that, Abdul. Did you do it for the last one?
I think I
No.
can do this after the session, ending the session.
Okay, so we need to do that for both sessions afterwards. Maybe I'll help you out with that, okay?
Yes.
And then communication support for Ulysses is Lucy. So hopefully that works out.
Yeah.
Cool. So we don't need to do very long check-ins, but let's just do quick, name and location. And then James, you can check in a little more because you weren't here before. But I'm in California. I'm doing pretty good, and I'm probably like 5.5 because it's getting late and we've been going for a long time. I think this is hour 3. Check.
Yes.
Who wants to go next? Abdul?
I'm Bangladesh and also fine. And I'm also 6 today.
And where are you?
I'm from Bangladesh, from Khulna, Bangladesh.
All right. Benji and Julie? Julie?
Oh, sorry, what?
We're from Philippines.
We're from Philippines.
Davao.
So Jay,
And
Yeah.
what's your number? What's your guys' numbers? Julie and Benji, do you guys have numbers?
No, it's 6.
6s, okay. James, you want to check in? James? James, are you there? Did we lose
I'm
James?
here.
Okay, do you want to check in? How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing pretty well. Yesterday I had a mini birthday party, so I have a little bit of a headache, but I'm glad because I turned 24 yesterday, so I'm really happy. And for that reason, I'm a 7.
Nice. And where are you?
I'm in Nairobi, Kenya.
Great. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lucy.
Yes.
Yeah. Today I'm doing well and I'm happy greatly joining this my first session. I'm in Kenya. 5.
You're 5? Okay, so we can average those. So let's go on to the next part
We have also
here.
Ulysses here.
Ulysses is here?
Yes, I think he is also text only.
Ulysses, you want to check in? Ulysses. So anyways, like, you know, Ulysses, if you want to like check in via text or something, that would be helpful. But, you know, you really should be like doing some work or doing something on the side, because it's, you know, you're not really participating or interacting in the session itself. So anyways, just making sure you understand. Okay, so let's go to you check in. So our schedule, so we have an hour. We've already gone through 20 minutes, so that means we have about 40 minutes left. So let's try to do at least 30 minutes. So that would bring us to 10.
So we supposed
50.
to end at we have 8 hour time. I don't know Bangladesh time it will be. I don't know then.
What?
How many minutes remain now?
I think 40 minutes remain.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, we're probably gonna go over a little bit. We'll go over like by 10 minutes. So we'll do a 50-minute session for the seasonal session. I think sounds about right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we start wrap up at 10:50.
Okay.
And then it'll give us 20 minutes to wrap up and check out and everything. Okay, so desired outcomes. Oh no, we're missing the desired outcomes section. Odd. All right, let's fix that. So just remember to mute your mic if you're not talking. Okay, so desired outcomes. This is the seasonal session, so it's very open. So maybe kind of some open discussion I think would be nice to have. Maybe some quarterly goals. So this would be for the for the next 3 months. You can think
So
about.
Jay,
Yeah.
let me interrupt for a minute. Lucy and Abdul, please can you guys mute your mics, because there's a lot of I can hear a
Not
lot
on my side, James. I'm not on my side, please. Okay. Maybe Abdul.
Abdul, do you want to mute your mic, please?
Yes, okay, I mute it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so what I was saying is the seasonal session only happens once every 3 months. It's a quarterly session. And it's, yeah, it's kind of cool. So the seasonal session itself is open. I think open discussion would be good. It's not part of our structural components of the actual global, you know, decision making. So we don't need to worry about any of that. But we could go over the budget if we wanted to for the global budget. So the review and quarterly goals, I think would be fun to talk about for like a little bit. So introduction to seasonal session. Are there any other desired outcomes people have?
Okay, Jay, I think I have a desired outcome.
Okay.
So for me, I think it would be really important if we have what we call the facilitation independence, since we normally depend on you to do all the facilitations. And
Okay.
yesterday, it was really difficult for us to have the Atlantic session, since you are not there. So yeah.
Well, me and Lucy did do an Atlantic session a half hour late. So, but yeah, let's do some more facilitation training. That would be great. Very exciting.
Yeah, because we were there early and we were a bit confused, but so yeah, we need to learn a lot on facilitation.
Yes, it's very important. Okay, and then we have our budget. So I have introduction to seasonal session, goals the next 3 months, facilitation training intro. Maybe also do our methodology proposal would be good. So basically, know more about facilitation and training. Any other desired outcomes or topics that people want to prioritize? We only have a few minutes, so we don't have a long time. So this would be like, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
This might be like 10 minutes. We could do a round. And then maybe another 10 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes on facilitation training. Cool. All right, so this looks good. So let's go into the introduction to the seasonal session and the methodology preparation. Yes, please, Julie, please do. Okay. Okay, so so in this session, James, and you'll see with facilitation, it's all about learning it in action, right? We'll do some facilitation training overall, but it's all helpful to do it in action. So at the beginning of a topic, you want to introduce the topic, and you don't even need to know what the topic is about, because then you can pass off the baton and introduce the person who is going to actually coordinate this particular topic. So this topic has 2 components. One is the overall introduction, and then the second part is the methodology proposal, right? So do you want to introduce the topic, James?
I want to do that. Okay, guys, the first topic of today is the introduction to the seasonal session. And I think Jay will be the one who will be guiding me into that. So today I'm like the co-driver. So Jay can take it away.
Great. Okay. Thank you, James. That was perfect. Basically, the goal of the seasonal session is very, 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 very broad. For one, it's not part of our global structure. The FQN Community Network hosts the seasonal session for the world. Right now, we haven't even publicly launched yet. But soon we will publicly launch. And when we do publicly launch, we're going to invite the world to this session. The first thing you should understand is that I personally know about 3,000 people, possibly more. And we have, at least 10,000, 20,000 contacts, emails, contacts and all that kind of stuff, Facebook, all that blabberty, social media, whatever. But in the context of like the networks that we connect to, we can connect to hundreds of thousands of people easily, very, very quickly and easily. So when we do public outreach and we invite people to these sessions, we can easily get 10, 20, 50, 100 people coming to the sessions. When we reach the movements, right? When we have people on the streets and the movements taking action and people basically demanding change to end the regimes of like the oligarchs and all of the big money destroying the planet, people are going to look for light, look for the places to actually get support in their lives, get support with their health. So one of the main keys of the whole vision for the FQN Community is life support and helping people. And this is one of the places that we do that. So one of the interesting things to note about the seasonal session is that this would be the northern solstice. The northern solstice is, and this is one of the reasons why we call it a seasonal session and not like, for example, the summer solstice or the summer session or whatever, is because we are global. So we have people from South America and South Africa and Australia and everything, and right now it's winter, right? So for the northern solstice, it's the winter in the southern hemisphere and the summer in the northern hemisphere. So it's this side of the picture, and it's really hot here in California right now, whereas it'd be really cold in like Chile or South Africa and things like that. So it's important to note that today's the northern solstice, and then in December we have the winter solstice, and that's pretty much that. So any questions on the seasonal session and the purpose of the seasonal session? And it's like in our global structure for the FKN Community Network, we have other global sessions like the seasonal session, but it's not necessarily part of our executive and Bouncil structure. It's not part of the planetary structure, because we do mainly Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars series. So the seasonal session, and we do need to create a doc and a global sessions doc. So we need two more docs here. So these are tasks. We need to create a seasonal sessions doc and an all global sessions doc. This has all of the global sessions. So any other questions about the seasonal session, what it's for, what we do? I guess the only thing I could add is that let's say 10 people from the public came to the seasonal session, right? We wouldn't talk about everything that we want to talk about. We're staff. We're here to support the public, right? We're publicly accountable here to support the public. So if the public comes to the seasonal session, we ask them what they want to talk about. What is the most important thing in the world to talk about right now that we can help organize and help support? And then we bring the topics together, prioritize them, and then we have a great session, and we break up into groups, small groups of like 5 to 10 people. So does that make sense, like what the seasonal session will be in the future? Do you have any other questions about it?
I want to ask, I'm not clear with the importance of having a season session. The importance of having a season session.
Well, the season session is it's the solstice. So the solstice is the alignment of the Earth and the relationship to the, it's when the Earth is at the maximum tilt towards the north, towards the sun. So it's a specific conscious alignment, and part of the alignment systems is trying to get away from just the simple context of the Gregorian calendar, which really isn't working, and trying to align more with planetary cycles and connecting with the Earth. The other reason why we do natural time cycles is because it creates a random time on the planet, and so some people have to be up in the middle of the night, and other people, they can be up during the day. So all of our global sessions are on natural time cycles, because it aligns us with natural time, and then it also allows us to spread and share the need to be awake either earlier in the middle of the night or during the day. Does that make sense, Lucy?
Yes.
Yeah, so the seasonal session is just one of our global sessions. This week we have 3 global sessions, which is actually kind of rare. We have the Mercury session, the seasonal session, and the new moon session, right? And by the way, the new moon closest to the solstice is the beginning of the half year in the Selenian calendar. So as we get closer, we're going to be switching entirely from the Gregorian calendar. This includes our entire payroll will not be based on the Gregorian calendar, hopefully within a couple months if we can get organized. And we're going to be switching to the Selenian calendar and go on a lunar solar calendar. And then once that happens, payroll will be based on the new moons. Yeah, the new and full moons will be payday. All right, so everything's going to switch to natural cycles so that it's more in alignment with the global systems. And our global clock is the moon clock, right? So, and part of that is because the Gregorian calendar is just ridiculous. I mean, it has no scientific basis at all whatsoever, right? Other than being a 24-hour day, there's no scientific basis to the Gregorian calendar. And then furthermore, it's basically like, I think it's 47 time zones in the world, right?
Okay.
So coordinating 47 time zones versus like one is a lot easier to have one time zone for the whole world than 47. In the end, we're going to have 48 time zones because we're going to have the global moon clock as well as the 47 time zones because we just can't, we can't get rid of the global, the Gregorian calendar. It's certainly very important. Any other questions about the seasonal session?
For me, no, Jay.
None so far, Jay.
Cool.
No
All right.
question there.
Yes. All right. And overall, I mean, it's optional. I mean, it gives people extra hours and things like that, but it's like, it's not mandatory for anybody to come to a seasonal session or any particular session. For example, some people will only want to come to the Venus session, or they only want to come to the Mars session, or they only want to come to the galactic sessions for the galactic calendar. So it just depends on what sessions that people are interested in. But it just gives, the more sessions that we have, the more opportunity for the most people to get involved. But we haven't even begun outreach yet. So that's part of the things that we need to do. That would be another responsibility, is outreach. So we need someone to sign up and help out with outreach. Like, that's huge. Outreach is very simple. It's like Facebook posts and emails and just inviting people and scheduling it and letting people know about our sessions. And it also helps with fundraising, because or not fundraising, but getting in investor relations, because the more people who know about us, the more people who can actually bring financial and other resources into our network. So anyway, so we have some tasks that we need to get done. So people should sign up for if anyone would like to do these tasks. And then we also have the outreach and other tasks. And so all this needs to be all of this needs to be put into the priority projects, priority responsibilities, and priority tasks. So do people still have questions about the master document updating?
No.
Okay, but remember, we want to get the tasks, the priorities, and the projects up here and organized. Okay, so back to you, James. So I'm going to hand it back to you. You're going to introduce the next section, and then you're going to hand it back to me.
Okay. But Jay, okay, this proposal, are we supposed to put like the agreement or what? The method, the proposal on the method?
We will, but before we do that, as a good facilitator, before you ever move on to the next section, depending on time, and if there's a good timekeeper, the timekeeper will tell us where we are on time right now, if we're over or before, whatever. But a good facilitator.
No, we are done with the introduction. We need to go the goal for next month, next 3 months.
So, well, let's do the methodology proposal for another couple minutes, right? For like 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, but James, what you want to do is you want to ask, as the facilitator, are there any other questions about the seasonal session before we go on to the methodology proposal, and then you just jump in the methodology proposal, just if there's no other questions.
Okay, guys, is there any of you that has not yet understood has not understood about anything about the seasonal session, or do you have any questions concerning the seasonal session? So I guess okay. So the next thing we move to the methodology proposal, and what we are supposed to the proposal is to approve the Unity methodology and all the related Unity policies and protocols and guidelines, systems and processes.
So
so if
keep going.
I'm finished. I'm done talking.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think you can handle this. The proposals are pretty easy. Facilitators oversee proposals as well. For a proposal, you just want to make sure there's no objections. In this particular case, pretty much everybody's approved it except Benji. So we make sure that Benji approves it, and then everybody else, we want to just make sure there's no objections. Okay? You want to try to do it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And we want to see, and you also, in the order, when you're doing proposals, the order for proposals is step 1 is questions, and this typically is about clarification. So you are actually step 0, right? Step 0, what you already did
Yeah.
beautifully, is to introduce the proposal and basically read it, what you did. So you read the proposal, then you ask if there's any clarification questions, and
Yes.
then you do concerns / amendments, and then you do if there's any objections, and then or roll call vote. And / okay.
Yeah. So I can just go on and ask. I'm seeing them.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah, Abdul.
I think Jillu is available now.
What?
He messaged on Sonic team.
Who?
Jillu is available now.
Oh, he's available. He can join us.
Great. Well, tell him to come in. Send him the link. Okay, so I'll send it back to you, James. Do you want to try to finalize this proposal for us?
Yeah, let me. Yeah, I can do that.
I think we are done with the methodology. The 3 minutes is over, please.
Okay, well, we're not quite done, but thanks for the reminder. Do you want to do this,
Okay.
James, or do you want me to do it?
Let me do it. So do any of you guys have any questions concerning the methodology proposal before we can pass it, or we can agree on it? Benji?
So,
Yes.
so James, if there's no,
Hello?
he asked if you had any questions, Benji.
Not so far, Jay.
Not so far, Jay.
So we can go on and approve and approve the proposal.
About the proposal? Let me check.
Okay, so you're really
Okay.
close. You're really close here. Hold on one sec. I'm done like half hour or something like that. So we're really close here. That when you're doing proposals, the wording is delicate, and so it does help to get it a little clearer. So you've covered number 1, clarification's done, right? Are there any concerns or amendments? If there's silence, then you're good to go, right? And then you would ask if there's any objections or do the roll call vote. So in this case, we would ask Benji, right? To make it really clear, we'd say, Benji, do you agree to the Unity methodology proposal?
What is the method, the proposal? Let me check.
So basically, it's a terms of involvement. So typically, when you go to a lot of websites and sign up, you click the terms of use button, right? When you sign up for something. So with the Unity network, when people get involved, right, and they come to our meetings, they need to agree to our terms of involvement. This involves everything. It's like 100 pages and involves everything from conflict of interest, our budget systems, our personnel systems, everything. And it includes open, collaborative, unifying principles. And so basically, if anybody wants to bring anything into the Unity network and into our sessions, they can. And the only thing that's that we require is that if basically you do something against our policies and we don't agree to change them, you just create a parallel system. And so we'll help and support people to create parallel systems as well. But our systems are very open and collaboratory, co-creative, and it's all about supporting equal voice and participatory democracy.
I think I need to. For now, I think I don't have any objections.
Okay, cool. And we have the link here. It goes through all the different details on it, although there's a lot more clarifications we could do over time to improve them because it's not perfectly all documented. But
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I'm
So
concerned.
Yeah, so it sounds like you don't have any objections and it sounds good, okay? So that you're a yes? Benji?
I'm sorry?
You're a yes? You have no objections for now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
No objection.
All right, does anyone else have any objections to the Unity methodology?
None so far, Jay.
Okay, so we have agreement. So anyway, so James, when you're doing that, it's just you want to be really, really clear, focus on the point. Are you yes or a no? Are there any objections? When you ask that question, and it's a very important question to ask it in that way, are there any objections to the proposal? Silence for like 5 seconds, or like 3 to 5 seconds minimum, sometimes 10, or you have to do a roll call, right? And you go through each person. We've already gone through everybody except for Benji, unless Zilu got on the call, but I mean, even Zilu's agreed to it at some point or another. All right, are we good to move on?
Yes.
All right, let's go into our goals. Let's put it back over to you, James. This particular topic is pretty easy as a facilitator. What you would do is basically introduce the topic, and then because it's a brainstorming round, so this would be what we call a brainstorm. There's no right answer. There's no particular thing. It's just open, broad goals for the next 3 months. We would do like a round, and we just go through each person. We have like, what I think we had 10 to 15 minutes for this item, 10 to 15 minutes. So that allows us to do, maybe we only have more like 10 minutes. So we have maybe like 1 to 2 minutes per person. Like 2 minutes a person. Okay, James?
Yes, Jay.
So you're going to facilitate this section, and all you have to do is just ask everybody to do a brainstorm to give, you want to introduce it about the goals for the next 3 months. And then
Okay.
each person gets 2 minutes and the timekeeper can help you. And then we just go around the entire group.
Okay. Lucy, I hope you are ready, because I'm very ready. Okay, guys, the next topic that we are going to talk about is the goals that we have for the next month. You are going to give me the ideas for the goals that you have, and remember that there is no wrong answer for this. Yeah, maybe you can assist me. So for me, I'm going to put on my first idea, and
So James,
it is going on.
So James, like
Yes.
as the facilitator, you try. I mean, I do terrible all the time, but you always want to try not to go first if you can, especially in a round, right? And then secondly, if you are going to say something as a facilitator, do it perfectly. You would want to basically say, okay, I'll start the round. So somehow you want to separate yourself from the facilitation and make it clear that now you're going to talk about it as an individual participant as opposed to your facilitator hat. Does that make sense?
Sorry. So I need to separate myself from the role of a facilitator.
Yeah. So when it's as simple as saying, okay, now I'm going to talk. I'm going to give. Oh my God, I forgot it. So it's simple as saying that you if no one else would like to go, like I can go first, right? And so you're choosing yourself as a participant to go first if no one else wanted to. So then you're separating yourself as the facilitator. So if you, as a facilitator, if you introduce the topic and then you go directly into the topic, you're putting a lot of power on yourself as the individual, and that it can be controlling. And so then your ideas become more important than everybody else. So in that way, and the same thing happens with me all the time. So I'm just training you how to do it correctly, even though we all make mistakes, including myself. So basically the correct way to do it is simply to take a step back, acknowledge that no one else wants to go, that you'll go first, and then in essence you're tapping yourself as a participant. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So go for it again. You're doing great.
So guys, does any one of you have an idea for what should be the goal for the next 3 months for our team?
And I just want to mention that it doesn't have to be for our team. It could be for anything. This is the seasonal session. It's a global session. It's open.
Okay.
I think the goal for 3 months from now is to make sure that we have a systematic way of working, and every work needs to be done systematically, and we need to get cooperated so much and get tasks done. And we need people to turn up every time. When you are there, you need to show up, you are around. And if your buddy team member is not there, you can still do the other people. No need of excuses, say this is not my teammate, this is not, and this, and this. This complaint cannot help us. We need to make sure that our work is done well and we meet the future goals.
Okay, so James, at this point, you would thank Lucy for her input, and then sometimes if we don't have the time to do this for every person, but you can summarize what she said. You could summarize it by basically saying that one of your goals is to make sure that we're working systematically and that we are getting the work done and not having any excuses. So that's a way of summarizing. So I'll pass it back to you, James.
No, okay, Lucy, thank you for that important point. What you have said is very, very great, and so yeah. Anyone else who would love to contribute to the goals?
So in this particular situation, James, we're doing what's called a round. So in a round, people don't have the choice to not be called on. Everybody gets called on. That's actually an important point of facilitation. So in the model, just allowing people to speak openly, you always get people who are timid and don't want to speak will typically not speak, right? So in a round, we call on each individual person because we're going to call every single person in the circle, in the group. So in this case, by asking the question, does anyone else want to say anything, that opens up the possibility that nobody will say anything, right? So, and that's what in this particular situation, we don't want that. So you want to just call on people, and then they can opt out. They can say, I would prefer not to speak, or I have nothing to say. And that's okay. They don't have to say anything, but we want to call on each person.
So I can call on them using their individual names?
Yes, exactly.
So okay, Jay, would you want to contribute to the goals?
Okay, my turn, huh? All right, so
yeah.
I think there's 3 things. One is elections. I think elections are really important and missing right now. I think James started creating one of our first global election forms, and so I'm excited about that. We also need to do a lot of training on voting forms and online voting, and this is called asynchronous voting. It's part of our structure. Everything that we vote on is supposed to go to our membership online, and we're just not doing that because we're just not organized and busy with our clients. So let's get that organized. That'll be really, really exciting to get our elections started. The other thing that I'll put out there is, man, I would just say that I would love to get more political. And I think it doesn't need to be in the sense of politics. Like, it's really not about politics. It's almost getting more just serious. Serious. Like, in that context of, like, future generations serious. You know, people's lives serious. So in that context, it's not about politics, it's about decision making and making important decisions that affect people's lives. So you know, this it doesn't need to be about, you know, some silly campaign. It could just be about, you know, sustainability, right? In the Jupiter plan, sustainability is our top priority. I would love to focus more on sustainability and really helping people on a large scale. And you know, it doesn't need to be big in the next 3 months. You know, we could just maybe do some more planning, maybe do some outreach, and specifically some investor relations, and get some support. So I think that we're in good shape to move towards that direction, and I would love to see that happen. Check.
So yeah, oh, okay. Abdul?
I can remind you time, please.
Yes, I think every person can be responsible about their task, and they can give their this organization top priority, and that's why every people can join every sessions in time and so on.
Okay, thank you, Abdul. Thank you so much.
Thank you also.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, Julie. Julie is not here, I suppose.
Yes.
You're here. Okay. Do you want to contribute?
Goal after 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to for the goal, I want to be like what Jay did. Everything to know, to train, other members too, or new members.
Okay.
James, I can give on time, please.
Okay, we are just concluding on this topic.
So I think there's just 2 more people left. We just have Benji and James.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I think one of the goals, I think it is to make sure that we track all the tasks which are assigned in the documents, because currently we are losing a lot of tasks within the documents. So it would be very great if we have a centralized way of making sure that all the tasks are documented and done, because because the tasks that we have a lot of tasks, and we just find that some of them are lost. We don't even know how to track them anymore sometimes. So that's my goal. As a member, not as a facilitator for now, because I jumped in front of Benji, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Benji, do you want to contribute?
Yeah. As a trainee, even if I'm just a trainee for now, I can say that we really have a bunch of tasks and responsibilities. So my goal for after 3 months is we have stable tasks in each person, so that we can focus on our tasks, and that can be helpful or big help, because we can focus on what we were assigned for. So and in my case also, I need I think I need a training program like what Jay did, so that I can do my tasks or my responsibilities 100%.
Sorry, Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Benji.
Hey, James, can I just add one thing?
Okay.
I just want to add that, in 3 months, if we had a stable budget, I think that's really important, because a stable budget would mean like stability for individuals and workers, right? That's just really important for all of us in our own personal lives. And then secondly, that I also want to throw out there like self-initiative, like there's no 100% correct way to do anything. Right?
Okay.
Just because I do something a certain way does not make it correct. It also doesn't make it right. There's nothing wrong with it. Like in the model, in our methodology, we are very interested in like sustainable, like using nature as an example. And within nature, there's many ways of doing the same thing. So you can have, parallel streams. You can have 2 trees that grow in the same, garden. So it's just like, it's okay to do things 2 different ways simultaneously, even if it takes a little extra resources, because we're all individuals, and that's important.
I believe that.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, check.
Thank you, Jay, so much. And so I'm going to give this last chance to anyone who has an extra point. And okay, Jay.
Yeah, James.
Before we close this window, okay, I would really want to stress on the issue of coming up with other sources of income. I would really love to stress on that point.
Well, one thing I can update that I think I mentioned before is that we have 1, 2, possibly 3 new agreements, right? And they're related to the same network, but they're slightly different budgets, so it helps. And then there are like 2 or 3 other possible clients that we're dropping the ball on that we really need to step up and take on more initiative to get engaged with some of these other programs that have budgets that we could potentially support, but we're just not, organized enough to do it. So yeah, and there's also like at least a dozen potential investors that might be very interested in supporting our work. So the possibility of getting more income sources and stabilizing our budget is very, very high, but we have to do the work. There's just lots of work to do to make that happen.
Okay. I think we are going for facilitation and training introduction, or it is not gonna done now. James?
Jay will guide me on that, because Jay will.
Obviously, James, you don't need to do the facilitation training since you're already a facilitator in training. But anyways, the bottom line to this is like we want to make sure that we're done with our goals. So is there any last things anyone wants to add to our goals? No? Okay, so now we can close the section of the goals. And it's important to close the section of the goals and make sure it's clear that we're no longer talking about it. People can add it to you. One of the things that these goals can be done, just to kind of do a little, this is part of wrap up, is that each one of these can be turned into a responsibility, and it can be integrated into our existing responsibilities. So I'll show you how that works with our wrap up. If we go into our topics here, what you're going to notice is that we're over time, right? So if we check in on our time, we said we were going to start wrapping up at 10:50. It's 11, so we're 10 minutes over time. It's not a big deal. The most important thing about facilitation is that the only way to learn facilitation, like most other things, is to just do it. So anything I say in the next, if we did 15 minutes, if we wanted to add 15 minutes to facilitation, and I could do a quick like lightning facilitation training round, I could do that. It's perfectly fine. But okay, the last half an hour and the little bit of facilitation that James just did, it would be worth about 100 times more value than me talking about facilitation. So him actually experiencing it, and doing it in the process is invaluable. It's really the only way to learn how to facilitate. It's just to be the facilitator for a single topic, or part of a meeting, and then eventually you can learn how to facilitate an entire session, and next thing you know, you're coordinating whole organizations and projects. So it's I think it's really, really great that James stepped up. Thank you, James. You did an excellent job. Really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyways, in this part, and this is also part of facilitation. So when you run out of time, what the facilitator does is very neutrally ask the group, and typically you would do this based on majority or whatever, but depends on the situation, if they would want to add 15 minutes. So we know we need about 15 to 20 minutes for wrap up.
Yeah.
Right? So we're gonna go another 10 to 15 minutes minimum. Right? So if we wanted to do an additional 15 minutes on facilitator training, everybody would have to agree that we're gonna go for a full 25 minutes, and we would finish at 11:30 Australia time. So the facilitator would ask everybody, before we go on to the next topic, does everybody agree and want to add an additional 15 minutes, or do you guys want to start wrapping up now? So James, you could do that if you want to practice. Otherwise, we can just ask everybody and see where we're all at as a group.
Let me practice.
Okay, go for it.
So, okay, guys, before we go to the next chapter of this session, which is wrap up, do we want to add 15 more minutes for covering the facilitation training?
Yes, we can.
Abdul, Benji, Lucy, Julie.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna do another extra 15 minutes. Let's try to do a little less, maybe like 10 minutes on like a quick little lightning round for facilitation. All right. So I'm gonna do this one. So good job, James. I'll finish up the rest of the session. So you did a great job on facilitating training role. And so let's go ahead and do should be lightning facilitator training community network style. We do like 10 minutes on this. Do we also want to do a video indexing? So make sure this gets video indexed. I just got to grab a little thing of water. I'll be right back.
I already did that there. It's
Excellent.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to get some water. I'll be right back. So actually, James, why don't you introduce the section? You can introduce it. And then pass it.
Video indexing is okay. I'm on there.
Okay. Didn't get what he said.
He said anyone to do video indexing, and I'm already there. I did it, and he's going to take water.
Okay, I'm back. So
Okay.
so the video indexing should start now, though. Make sure it starts now.
Yes.
Okay, so facilitation. So the most important thing to understand about facilitation is that the facilitator is not in control. It's actually kind of similar to the fact that I can't like make you guys do anything, right? Like the Sonic team is very disorganized, and we're working on getting more organized. We get better and better every week, but it's like I can't force anybody to necessarily do something that they don't necessarily know themselves. So So the facilitator is not in control. So if you think that a facilitator should be in control, that's one of the primary reasons why people are very scared and concerned about being a facilitator, is because they don't know how to control the group. But the first thing that to feel comfortable in facilitating is letting go of control, right? Because like, and meetings do get out of control. One of the reasons why we have so much process and so much like organization and systems is because we're dealing with so much things that it's automatically out of control already, right? So what the more and more you get involved, you'll see that there's so much going on that it's already just a complete insanity and mess, which is why we get down to buddy teams, because buddy teams can actually be organized and coordinated. Once you get to like, you know, our sessions, there's just no way to coordinate them. There's too much. So that's the first thing. The next is like, okay, what are the levels and steps to building the facilitation framework of a group, okay? And the most important level from understanding that no one individual in control is self-facilitation. So self-facilitation is the concept that the most important component of facilitation and having a group be cohesively organized and supporting each other is that each individual in their relationship with the group is self-facilitating themselves, right? This means, you know, knowing when to step back, right? Knowing when to step up, right? It's basically practice functioning in meetings. It's not acting out, right? Acting out is a specific term used. This includes emotional outbursts, right? So if you're like, please vote for my proposal, it's so important, I'll leave if I don't. That would be acting out, because you're using an emotional connection to get someone to vote for your proposal, right? And that actually, it's called manipulation. So acting out can be a form of manipulation. And that's actually manipulation. That's actually part of why our whole society is so falling apart right now, is because people are manipulated into voting for different ways. That's basically our political system right now, is just all based on manipulation. So in our group, and you know, emotional outbursts and manipulative systems are not allowed. I mean, we do our best to try to tame them down. Also, it's focusing on the actual topic. You know, not, you know, doing texting or you know, side discussions, or, you know, talking on the phone, etc., etc., etc. Like, you're actually focused as an individual on the proposals, on the meeting that's happening, and the work that you're doing. So that's sort of the general concept of self-facilitation, listening, etc., 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 and participating. Right, so when you're called on, you participate. This also, in our situation, because we're a global group, that would involve like making sure your audio connection is good, right? So when we call on you, participating, when we call on you, you respond, right? So if you just leave and you're not there, and we call on you and you don't respond, that's not a good interaction. So that's self-facilitation, you know, not talking too much, you know, and leaving room for other people to talk. What you'll find with a lot of organizations, especially global organizations and things like that, it's just a lot of men, sometimes white men, and it's you know, you just get a lot of very masculine energy that bubbles to the top, and then all the feminine energy and a lot of like women in general and just other people don't have a voice. So the most important thing in group organizing is self-facilitation, and just sometimes it's just, you know, stepping back and allowing other voices to be spoken. We are going to do a lot more of that in the future. And right now we don't have the ability to do some of that because we're so busy with our client and getting all the client work done. But we will in the future, and that also involves Globish, talking very slowly and listening to people and realizing that every person has their own way of talking and communicating. So some people are going to communicate slower. Some people are going to communicate faster. Some people need a translator. Some people need to have their ideas reworded or whatever to make it clear. And that's a role for the facilitator. So the facilitator needs to, like, the self-facilitation is key, but then the facilitator to be able to see the type of person each one of the members of the group are, and understanding their role in self-facilitation is actually the next most important step of being a good facilitator, is understanding and seeing people in their role of where they are as a participant in the meeting. And I could go into that a lot more, but let's just stop there and talk about and see if there's any question on self-facilitation. And then the next topic is what would be called group facilitation. Any questions on self-facilitation?
No.
Cool. So group facilitation is very simple. Typically, you can do group facilitation between two to 5 people. Basically, you want to, as a group, prioritize and, make sure the key aspects of your group needs are taken care of. So typically you would share facilitator roles between, as a group, and some people might step up a bit, at different times. So the most effective type of facilitation by far is a combination of self-facilitation and group facilitation. If every single person understands how to facilitate, understands how to collaborate as a group, then as a group, usually a small group, you can facilitate everything and self-facilitate yourself. And then as a group, you'll be the most successful. And that comes into the idea of group facilitation. The purpose of group facilitation, the purpose of coming together as a group in the first place is shared thinking, right? So, I guess I'll give a quick experiential thing, and we'll close up here because we don't have a lot of time. But the general concept of facilitation is that to share and think together, you need to act and basically consciously connect together in the moment, right? So it's shared thinking, and that's part of why facilitation is so important to happen in real time. Although there is a whole process that we have about asynchronous facilitation, which we have to deal with because we're dealing with global communications. So we're not going to cover that today. So the foundational component of acting and consciously connecting together in the moment and building shared thinking is actually realizing that we're all alive together as beings. And I know it sounds kind of silly, but that's really what it comes down to. So sometimes even in some of our sessions, especially something like a seasonal session where we're trying to connect with the seasons and the alignment of the earth and the grounding into the planet, is realizing that as life, one of the things that connects everybody is the breath, right? So you can remind everybody, take even a couple seconds or a minute, and you would remind everybody to connect together. And so in this moment, you could close your eyes and realize that we're all connected globally. And then you want to exhale. And so everybody exhale at the same point until you can't exhale anymore. And then inhale together. And so in that process of inhaling together, it's a very minor thing, but then suddenly it synchronizes our breathing. And for whatever reason, when you synchronize your breathing as a group, it brings a much higher level of shared thinking and shared merged consciousness and allows the group to function much better together. So that's pretty much, a very, very brief, quick introduction to group facilitation. So breathing together is a good thing to do So sometimes you have a moment of silence or whatever at the beginning of the session. So anyways, are there any questions on group facilitation?
Not so far, Jay.
Not so far, Jay.
Cool. All right, so let's do really quick. We'll just cover all the things that we're not going to cover today that relate to facilitation. But I was mentioning before that, you know, as a main facilitator of a group, the most important things that you can do is acknowledge and accept the abilities of the individuals involved. So trying to think in the terms of the facilitator, of the individual, and their ability to self-facilitate themselves, right? So the ability to self-facilitate is a key component. And then the other component is like since you know that you can't control the group, to set up the group for success by aligning the goals and desired outcomes of the group based on their abilities. Okay, so if you're working with a group who are really loud men, they're all going to speak over each other and talk really fast, and you know half the group won't even be able to say anything, and like it doesn't matter what you do, but you're like not going to get anything done, right? It's like you don't want to set yourself up for failure by trying to control this group that's uncontrollable, right? Or you need help in setting up the space. Like if you want to try to control a very uncontrollable group, you need to actually set up the space ahead of time. So there's a lot of preparation that comes into that. And typically you want to get pre-agreement. You try to get pre-agreement from the group that they would lose some of their control in that particular situation. So anyways, it's like as a facilitator, you just realize that like part of your responsibilities are the agenda, right? The agenda and making sure that the session has a plan and that you align that plan with the group. So, I mean, these are very, very high level concepts. And, you know, typically in facilitator training, you wouldn't even talk about these things for particularly possibly years. I've been studying facilitation and I've done many facilitation courses and classes, and it's like, you know, I'm on maybe like 2,000 meetings and sessions by now that I've been personally involved in, and probably facilitated like 800 meetings or more. But anyways, it's just good to understand it though. Like as a like the magic of a session of a meeting is in the planning and knowing what the agenda is and what the desired outcomes in connecting that to your progress in the meeting. So other things here that we would go through would be dual facilitation or co-facilitation. Yeah, co-facilitation. Right, so then you have facilitator and training. Co-facilitation, backup facilitation. So a lot of this in the next section that we would talk about in the training, which obviously we're going to cover soon. So all of these things are really part of what it would mean to do what we call live facilitation training, right? So it's basically understanding and learning how to facilitate as a group in training. And so it's like, what is the role of the facilitator in training? How do they relate to co-facilitation? What does it mean to be a backup facilitator, right? Then you've got topic facilitation. So you typically you would just take a single topic to facilitate. Like James did, he just has a single topic, one at a time, and he did a great job. So you could even have subtopic facilitation. And then there's asynchronous facilitation, and then the really exciting stuff is where you have multi group facilitation. I'm not expecting anybody to be able to do this, but you're gonna need how to learn how to do it, because we're gonna do it together. So you would have what's called the super facilitator or the super facilitator. The super facilitator, and then you or like the main or the primary. It's called the primary facilitator. And so this primary facilitator, which would typically be me, since most people don't have the experience, would be facilitating the agendas and processes of multiple groups simultaneously. So what happens is you have these runners or switchers, and this is a facilitator role. It's a switcher facilitator. Okay, and so they're coming from the primary group to the outer groups. Right, so then you have the secondary facilitators and the the group. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll talk about this more, but this is what we're going to be doing. So whenever we get more than like 10 or 15 people, like let's say we had 14 people, we're going to split up into two groups. Oh, I'll be right there. Two groups of 7 people, right? With and you're going to have, each group would have a facilitator and a runner, right? So if we had like 21 people, you could split up into 3 groups of 7 people. And then there's going to be one group that's going to be the primary group that's going to help facilitate the other groups. And so people are going to need to take on these roles. You're going to need to become a runner facilitator or a switch facilitator, the secondary facilitators, the group facilitators. So there's all these different roles that people could take on and get help in doing that. And as staff, we're all required to do that. So everybody's going to have to learn how to facilitate. And we could have, like, if we have 50 people who get on the call, we're going to have, like, possibly 6 simultaneous groups happening at the same time. And so we all have to be prepared for that. But it's going to be small groups, like 5, 6, 7 people, So it won't be too bad. So I think we're done. Are there any last questions on facilitation?
Still none so far, Jay.
Cool. Yeah, and I know it was just very, very preliminary. In the end, the only way to learn facilitation is really just to do it, just to step up and jump in and practice. All right, so let's wrap up. Any next steps? I want to talk about elections. We need to do turn our goals into responsibilities. Did you have a question, Julie?
And so far, Jay.
Okay. Evaluations. Everybody should do an evaluation. You can be like, this was the seasonal session. Great training and goals. Yay. All right. So everyone should evaluate the session and or other people in the session or buddy teams. Meeting value tracking, get that done. Schedule. The next global session is Saturday/Sunday. So you go to unitynet.info. You would click on the calendars. Let's do UTC time because this is a global session. So here's the seasonal session.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Let's finish this though.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find the. I think it's on Sunday. Yeah, the Newman session's right here. It's at basically like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. We need to fix that so it's on the hour, but it's either 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. on Sunday. Okay, Julie?
Yes, this is out of topic, Trey. I just want to confirm when are we going to process the payroll for Sonic team?
During a scheduled buddy team session when it's a priority.
Okay.
So again, like you guys keep bringing this up at the end of a session, and it's just like, I mean, we just spent like half an hour on payroll, like about an hour ago. So we're gonna get to it. We just have to do it. Remember, we're paying like 50 people. There's like 50, 60 people on payroll between the different organizations that we oversee. So like when you got the way that it sounds is like, when are you gonna do it? It's like there's no way I can personally pay 50 people without help. You know what I'm trying to say? So the question should be, hi Jay, it's Julie here. I want to work on payroll and I'm available tomorrow at this time. Let's put in 2 hours and do it together.
Okay, Jay, I will take note of that. So can we do it tomorrow?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you.
We should definitely.
Are you asking payroll verification? Jay, is it payroll verification?
I think she just wants to do the payroll. Like you and Lucy, if you guys want to work on payroll after the session, do a buddy team. I already went over it with both of you guys. There is like an hour of work that needs to be done. Just everybody needs to be verified their hours. We need to find out how much each person needs to pay, and there should just be a simple list on the payroll doc that says, here's the name, here's how much they get paid, and then we just pay it, right? So there's work that you guys have already been tasked to do that hasn't been done, and it's not getting done for weeks now, right? And it's already been tasked many times.
I think only 4 people are on weekly payroll, and that is not a hard work.
No, it's not hard work at all. Like, it's just work that needs to get done, and no one's doing it.
Yeah,
so it's just doing the work.
Do it.
Yeah, just go for it. Do it.
It's only 4 people.
Yeah.
And you already done with the one remaining 3, Julie,
There's
James,
only
and
3 people
Julie.
left. Exactly.
3 people left. It's not something that I'll do it.
A lot of to do.
Yes, like 25 minutes is done.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks Lucy for that.
Yeah. So take care of that, and then we need to prioritize it in tomorrow's sessions, and then just get it done, and we're good to go. So, and again, if payroll is not a wrap-up topic, right? It's just never ever going to be a wrap-up topic. It's just not. Like, I don't think you guys understand what payroll entails, right? You can't do payroll in a wrap-up. It's just impossible. So payroll has to be a priority topic. If you guys want to prioritize payroll, it needs to go. So next steps would be payroll. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It has to be a priority topic in the session if we're going to talk about it. But this is the template session. How did that happen? Have we been taking notes from template session? No. Okay. So let's get out of here. Seasonal session. All right, wrap up. Cool. So the next steps is payroll. Also, nobody is doing the master document updating. And I've already asked this 5 times. And
I already do that. I update everything now.
No, it's not. It's not update. There's not a single task here. There's not a single priority here, and not a single project here. So you can't say that it's been done when it's obviously not done because nobody's doing it. We should have a list of all the responsibilities, all the tasks, and that's part of wrap up. Is we go through all the responsibilities and we go through all the tasks and make sure we know who's going to do the tasks and who's going to do the responsibilities. That's why
what I did. I copy the topic note into master list for today, but the only priority I did not list it down here.
No, there's nothing listed here at all. Not a single individual thing. See, nothing.
Okay.
They're empty. See, no projects, no responsibilities, no tasks. You see this, Lucy?
Yes.
And also,
I copy the note.
Benji was going to help with this as well. Benji didn't do it either. So right now we have the one responsibility, but I think there's a lot of other responsibilities. This could be another responsibility, right? To turn the goals into responsibilities. I think this could technically be a task, but I think it's actually a responsibility. It's a lot of work. The elections is also a responsibility. Elections, the global elections, or the quintance, and this is so I mean, if Julie, oh wait, there we go, perfect. Topics. No, these are the topics I already put. No, not perfect. 0, nothing. So can anybody else take on the task of master document updating, since Lucy and Benji are not doing it properly, like to just update this, because we need for wrap up.
Updating the master docs?
No, doing the master document updating includes taking all the information from the notes, updating the tasks, updating the project, so that when we go through wrap up, we have the list of the tasks and the responsibilities from the meeting so that we can review them. Like that, like this is really clear and simple, and we've covered it literally like an hour ago in detail, and it's still not happening. And you keep saying that it's happening, and it's not. So if you were like, oh, it's not happening, I understand then, or I don't understand, it would make a lot more sense. But when you keep saying that it's happening and you're doing it, and obviously you're not doing it, it really gets frustrating.
You know what I mean? I just copied the...
I know you say that you just keep copying it to the master list, but that's not what we want. No, that's not what we want, though.
Okay.
You only need to copy it to the master list once. Like it literally takes... Like watch.
Okay.
Well, watch. Are you ready? Are you timing me? Okay. I drag. I copy. Right. I click. I open the document. I push return twice. I paste. It was literally 15 seconds. Right? So you're telling me that the entire role of master document updating is 15 seconds of work, and that's not true. Okay? The important part of master document updating is making sure that during the session, we organize all of our projects, all of our responsibilities, and all of our tasks so that we can review them and know exactly who is supposed to do what, when, so that we're able to be organized. And I keep saying this over and over and over again for months now, and it's not happening.
But there was no one saying the task he's gonna doing.
You're saying what? That there was no task and no responsibility?
Yeah, no one said the task he's going to do. So I have nothing to write there because no one say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this.
So this isn't a task even though it has a task next to it, and this isn't a task because it has a task next to it, and this isn't a responsibility because it has a responsibility next to it. And you know, we have all of these that could all become responsibilities here. Someone needs to turn these all into responsibilities. So that's another task and responsibility here. So turn goals into responsibilities, right? So there's at least 10.
Okay.
It's not like that big a deal. Like what the issue isn't this particular meeting. It's the fact that it's meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting that it's not happening. And it's like it's just so important. If we don't have the tasks documented, and remember James was talking about of how like one of the primary goals we just talked about, right, with our goals, right? James said that we have a lot of tasks and responsibilities. To make sure that we track all the tasks that they're assigned in the documents and that we're losing tasks. We are losing a lot of tasks in the documents. We need to centralize the tasks or they disappear. and make sure that they get done. And if we just find some of them and they get lost, then we don't even know how to track them sometimes, right? So this is why they keep getting lost, is because they're not being documented properly as priority tasks and responsibilities and projects. And again, I've been talking about this for over 10 to 15 minutes and not a single person, like how many people are on this call? There's Benji, there's Julie, there's Abdul, there's James, there's Lucy, there's 5 people, any one of you. It literally would take you 10 seconds. You come into the notes, you would copy the tasks, copy, and I come up to the priority tasks and I paste. And I'm going to delete that because you guys need to do it. Like, well, I don't understand. Like, we're paying thousands and thousands of dollars, and we can't just copy and paste the tasks into the spot so that we don't lose them. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense. And then you guys are concerned about why we're not getting anything done. And it's just like, we're gonna get other people to do it. We're publicly accountable to doing the work of the needs of the public to help people. And so if we're not gonna do it, then we're gonna get other people. Does that make sense?
Yes, Jay.
It's very simple.
That's it.
Is
And
it
we have 5 people. It literally could take us 30 seconds to update all the project responsibilities. Like, I don't care that it says that Lucy and Benji are supposed to do the master document updating. We're all responsible for it. Let's just all do it and do it now and get it done so that the projects and responsibilities and priority tasks are done, you know? And while we're at it, I will even help do the goals. So this would be systems, the systems and processes. Elections. Voting forms and online voting. Movement building and liaisoning. Worker coordination. Personnel support and team development. Make sure that all the tasks are assigned in documents. So this would be task verification, task documentation and verification, as well as worker coordination, and also evaluation. We really have a lot of tasks and responsibilities. Still, the first person focus because we budget. I don't know. Budget and investor relations. public outreach. And this would be life support. So do you guys see how each one of these goals can be put into a project or responsibility, and then we can follow up with it and make sure it actually is successful, right? And then we actually follow up with the project, with the responsibility, keep pushing it, and actually make everything happen. You know, it's just like we just need to organize all of this stuff, and it just needs to happen, and it shouldn't be that hard, you know? So the first step is just to organize all the projects and topics and responsibilities and tasks. And then we assign and make sure everybody has the assignments of knowing what they're going to do. And then we do the training. Like, is anyone here right now? Does anyone hear me?
Yes.
You guys are still here? So,
Yes.
so like, I think it's really important for you guys to understand the order of how this works, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put this in. Well, you guys obviously don't get it because we're just not doing it. So I'm gonna clarify this really quick. So 1 is goal, right? Goal and group session, right? Why don't you even come from the public? The public can tell us what to do. We are publicly accountable. If the public wants us to take a priority, we do it. Right? So steps to getting things done. 2, right? We have we compile the list of tasks, responsibilities, and projects together. 3, we assign the tasks, responsibilities, and projects to people and buddy teams. 4, we do training. Okay, so, and then we get the work done. Get work done. Review and evaluate. We consider goals and steps. Okay, so this is how you get things done. Right, so right now we're not even hitting number 2. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say here? We're not doing even the simple process of compiling the list of the responsibilities and projects. And number 3 is like almost impossible. Like to try to get people to just take on tasks and responsibilities is like pulling teeth. And we're paying thousands and thousands of dollars. So my question would be, is there anybody here who thinks that all of these things shouldn't happen?
Yes, Jay.
Yes, Jay.
You guys don't think that this stuff should happen? What do you not think should happen?
For me, I think lack of cooperations.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we have a huge list of projects, a huge list of responsibilities, and a huge list of tasks, right? This doesn't include all of our tasks, but we know there's a lot more than this, okay? My question is does anybody here think any of this should not happen?
No, we should done this as soon as possible.
We should do all this as soon as possible. That's what I would say. So does everybody here agree we should do all of this?
Yes, Jay.
Yes, Jay.
Okay, so then does anybody think that there's anybody else to do this work besides us?
I think we can do this by teamwork.
Yes,
Everybody
but
cooperate.
exactly. That we do a bit of teamwork and that we all take a little bit. So if we all come to the understanding and agreement that we want to do all of this, right? And then the other step of saying there is nobody else who's going to do any of this work. then who else is going to do it? Does anyone know anybody else who would do this work?
No, we're the only team
Yeah.
that we can do this work.
So then that takes me to the last question, which is who wants to do what, right? And this is the question that we always get to every single session, and it's like blankness and everybody's silent. And we get the same people like James and Nelly and Steve who sign up for everything, and nobody signs up to do anything, right? So it's like if you want training on how to do something, you need to tell us that you want to do it, or we're not going to train you to do it. Because otherwise, there's no point for us to train you to do something that you don't even want to do. So every single one of these projects and responsibilities needs people and buddy teams signed up to do them. And it needs to happen basically now. Right? Or it's not going to happen. Like, this is the time when we actually sign people up to do these things. So does anyone want to volunteer to do one of these things, or should I just call them out, or do you guys just want to move on and check out, or what? So let's just try one, for example, like turning our goals and responsibilities done. I did that. The main doc done. So all these tasks are done. I know there was other tasks that didn't happen. The all global sessions doc, this did not happen. So if someone wants to do that, another task would be to put all notes for all global sessions into. So does anyone want to take this task on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to say your name so that I can write it down?
Lucy.
Lucy. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can also help Lucy with that.
Okay. Does anyone else want to help out with the getting all the notes in it?
Me too, Benji.
Benji. Okay. There you go. All right. So public outreach. Anyone interested in helping with public outreach?
Public outreach.
I can help, but I don't know.
You don't know if
Okay,
you want
Jay?
to help?
Hello. Okay, I can team up with Lucy and we can do the public outreach together.
James and Lucy. There you go. That's a buddy team. That's what we want. Task documentation and verification and evaluation.
Abdul. Yes, I am.
And anyone want to help with Abdul?
Yes,
Lucy.
Lucy.
Systems and processes. This is almost more of a project, but I obviously would be involved in that. Does anyone else want to help with systems and processes?
I can join you on that.
James?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, this should also be a topic here, you know, so we could put this as a next step. And this is our topic thing. So systems and like everybody should be involved in systems. We want to system, finance, and process everything. Elections. James is already working on that. I'm working on that a little bit. Anyone else want to help with elections? It's a lot. Movement building and liaisoning. I'm interested in that. Anyone else?
Movement building and liaison. Jay?
For the voting, Jay, I can do that with Benji. Voting forms and online voting.
Benji, you want to help too?
Yes, Jay.
All right, so we'll have two buddy teams on this. We've got buddy team Benji and Julie. Okay. All right. Movement
So,
building.
okay, Jay.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, maybe I can just provide an update now on the elections.
Well, I would prefer not to because I have to go. So
Okay.
as a facilitator, this is not update time. This is just the wrap up, and we're already way over time. So let's just get out of here, and I just want to remind you guys that we don't have to go through this entire list one by one. You guys can just write your name next to things, and then we're done. It literally could be done in 30 seconds if everybody just wrote their names next to stuff. So does anyone else want to help with movement building and liaisoning?
Yeah, I can join you on that.
Okay, and that's a really important one. It also has to do with our outreach and making money. Personal support and team development. Does anyone want to help Abdul with personnel support and team development? These are really two separate things. I'll put Abdul on both of them.
I can help.
Okay.
I can work with Abdul.
Okay, and session preparation, Julie and Benji. This is kind of done. You could help with the new moon session. So like we would do new moon session preparation. Global elections informed for Quinton. So this is the same thing as elections. So that's the same. Turn our goals and responsibilities, done. Payroll support updating for first week, June, Lucy Abdul. Okay, let's just skip the projects for now. Eventually we'll be doing projects as well. Projects are only allowed to have buddy teams do projects. All right, sorry that I had to kind of like put the hammer down, but it's just like, do you see how much more organized this is, right? And it doesn't matter that people don't know exactly how to do all this stuff. I mean, it could take us a month or 2 months or 3 months, right? We have 3 months. These are our 3-month goals to figure out all the training and how all this is going to happen and all the work that needs to happen, and then we'll get it done, right? It doesn't need to happen overnight, and it's okay that you don't know exactly how to do something. That's why we have buddy teams, and that's why we're a team together. But until we assign people, know what people are going to do, and then organize it into all the buddy teams, it's very hard to do the training and get the work done. So this is the first step, is getting it organized. Now we can update, right? So another task could be to update the buddy team docs with the new responsibilities listed here to make sure that each buddy team is listed for what tasks and responsibilities they said they're going to do. Okay, so if someone wants to sign up for this task, that would be great as well. All right, so let's check out. I'm going to start because I got to get going, and I'm already late and didn't help out with the recycles, and I got a dirty look. So, Jay, check out. I thought this was a good session. I really love talking about our goals. I love looking ahead, even if it's only 3 months. But, you know, in the fall equinox, we'll be here again, you know, and we'll be figuring out how to move forward. So thanks everybody, and yeah, until tomorrow. Check. Benji, you want to check out? Benji, you there?
Yeah, yes, I'm thinking what to say.
Just say how the session went for you, what you're up to for the rest of the day, you know, the usual.
I will be the one to put here, Jay. Right. All right.
What?
Just
try to check out. Just say a sentence on how the session went for you and what you're looking forward to for the rest of the day. You know, just something simple.
Yeah.
So again, we're doing voice session here, everybody. Everybody needs to talk and just check out really fast. This will go really quick if everyone just focuses. So let's try James. Would you like to check out?
Yeah, okay, I can check out. So I had a really good session, and We are on our way of we are on our path to getting more organized. And today I'm hoping I'll have a good day. And yeah. And okay, I wanted to just ask if maybe Julie and Benji could remain with me for just 1 minute tops on the hangout. We are done checking out.
Yeah, I think James might have some election stuff because he's already been working on it, and Julie and them can work on some of the session ones. And James, you need to add everybody in all of the teams. There's over 14, 15 people for the global elections. Okay, like everybody who's on the need everybody on there. Okay, let's do it to Julie. Julie, would you like to check out?
Yeah, me, Jay? You're asking me?
Yeah, can you check out?
Yeah, I already checked out.
I already checked out.
It is already,
Okay, but you guys checked out with the text only session. This is a voice session, and we want to hear your voice because it's being human, right? We're humans.
Yes. Well, yes, Jay. It's a good session. I learned about our future goals as a team, and I'm gonna do my best to hit the goal. So thank you so much, everyone, and especially to you, Jay.
Yes. Thank you. Benji, do you want to check out?
Yeah, I'm having a good session too and learn new things about almost all tasks, and I really want to learn more about multitasking and responsibilities.
Great. And Abdul, you want to check out?
Yes, this is really good session for today, and a new session for session. And I think this is really good for me. And thank you, everybody.
Great. I think that's everybody. Is Ulysses still here? Anyone else?
Yes, Lucy.
And we never got Zilu, but he did check in, so we can add Zilu to the check. Oh, Lucy. Okay, Lucy, would you like to check out, Lucy?
Yes. Today's session was nice, and I love when you challenge us, Jay. It is a part of learning. It is also good if you keep us on track. If you are not doing the right thing, I'm always happy when you challenge me. That is a part of learning. I love that. So happy to check out.
Cool. All right. Awesome. So I think we are done with the seasonal session until next time. And I'm gonna do the session verification spreadsheet, and then Abdul, if someone could help Abdul with the session value tracking, that would be helpful. And let's just make sure we add the check-in we had. I mean, I don't even know if Ulysses even really attended at all. I don't think he was really there at all. I don't know. But we had Ulysses check-in and we had Zilu check-in. I think that's it. And so we can issue for the session value tracking. And I'm going to do the session verification spreadsheet real quick. And so Abdul, that you also need to do it for the previous session as well. So this one was the Sonic main session for Wednesday. First. Hey, Abdul, did you do the session value tracking for the Sonic main session? Is it done? Abdul?
Yes, yes, I am working on
Did you
session
finish?
value tracking.
Did you finish the session value tracking for the Sonic session?
No,
No. Okay.
I will be done this after this session, and now
Okay.
I'm working.
Yeah, and if anyone can help, Abdul with the session value tracking, that's definitely the hardest thing that needs to happen right now. That's the most amount of work. I'll try to help you a little bit, but I'm just going to finish the session verification for tasks and responsibilities real quick first.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Did anyone add the video index to the master video index doc?
Yeah,
Did you do that for the Sonic main session as well?
yeah, I did that.
For both? Okay, great. Thank you. Did anyone add the session notes to the index logging? Did anyone add this, do the session credits value tracking logging? I know we haven't done that yet. Update the decisions doc. I don't think we made any decisions. Add task and responsibilities verification spreadsheet. Update the master task responsibilities topic lists. All right, so there's still a lot to be done here. Okay. So this is 80%, this is 20%. So this is documentations, 20%, sessions, 80%. All right, 0, evaluations. Did anyone else do any evaluations?
I don't think.
Okay. Session support overall is going to be this one. Copy. This is completed session task. Again, about the same. 20. Logging work value credits. Logging work value credits 0. Evaluations 0. Convening. Did a pretty good job here. Maybe like 70%.
I think I update Sony Note into master list. I update that.
All right, so you did the updating the master task responsibility and topic list?
Yeah,
And you did that for the global team?
I did that for Sony team and also global.
Okay, great. Right, so that's 40%. Documentation, 40%. Session preparation. Double team. so much better. Okay, I'm done with the session tracking responsibilities. Let's see how the session value tracking is going. So the time participation times 3 times 4. Lucy. Ulysses was not present. James. Abdul. Benji. Abdul did 3 for 3 hours. He did great. That's 6. James did amazing. 6. Lucy did good. 6. Julie did pretty good as well. 2, 5. 5. Okay, that's good. Session positions, James gets an hour. Note taking, Lucy timekeeping, 2 hours, great. Video indexing, Lucy and Julie. Session value tracking time, okay. UJ's total attendance on time, no one got on time. Oh, I didn't really do much prep. 6 hours. Facilitation 1 hour. Note taking 2 hours. Value tracking 5 hours.
Jay,
Yeah.
just a quick question. Okay, I'm done with the form that we were working on the other day, and I just wanted to change the ownership, but I don't know the email to the Americas.
You can just do UnityNet Global or J at Jay's Life. Here, I'll write it down here. So do J at jayslife.net or UnityNet Global at Gmail. Either of those work. So another thing we're going to do is we're going to start giving out points for people who sign up for tasks and responsibilities, right? So Abdul gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lucy gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Benji, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chewy, 1, 2, 3, 3. James, 1, 2, 3. Jay, 1, 2, 3.
Jay,
Yeah.
so I just changed the ownership to the owner of the document now is the UnityNet Global. I hope that's okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Good. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Great job, Zilu. It looks really good. I know there's still a lot to be done on the session value tracking. We're really close. Okay, I think this looks pretty good, Abdul. It's not done yet, but I got started with the meeting value tracking spreadsheet, the session value tracking spreadsheet. So I'm gonna take off. Okay, Abdul.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Jen.
All right. Good work, everyone. Ciao. See you tomorrow. Let's stop.